Hi guys, and welcome to today's reading on what is the karma for your haters. So of course we're not wishing anyone ill, we're just curious to see what their karma is for hating on you, for no real apparent reason, okay? So 4 groups. For group 1 we have Cat's Eye and Third Eye Chakra. Group 2, Lapis Lazuli and Blue Avians. Group 3 we have Lemurian, Aquatine, and this 10 of Cups. And for group 4 we have the Snow Quartz and Regeneration. So take a moment to select your pile using your intuition, and I will see you in your reading. Okay, group 1, welcome to your reading. Those of you who picked this Cat's Eye and this Third Eye Chakra, welcome. So what is the karma for your haters? So I'm going to start off by saying that everything is connected. And so that's the feeling I'm getting with this reading. So, regardless of the situation, with why these people hate on you, or maybe it's related. I don't know. That's for you to say. But I'm getting this strong energy of everything is related with this card right here. The same way you could see the 2 discs overlapping, and I'm seeing like there's an interconnectedness between like the hater and their haterade, or whatever you want to call it, and their karma and what's happening in their life as well, right? As I was shuffling the cards and I was laying them out, I heard judge not lest ye be judged. So, to me, I'm taking that as, when people stand in judgment of others, they're usually in judgment of themselves in some way, because it's just like the function of the brain. While you're in that state of judging, it's like you're obviously going to be judging yourself as well. So with this group, I'm seeing a lot of that their luck, their fortune, which is maybe this is what they hate on you about, who knows, but it's very much tied into, because here we have the wheel, right? We have the wheel of fortune, and then judgment in reverse, which is, I feel, their calling and what they are meant to do, because here we have feed your artist in reverse, individuality as well, right? And then also this 8 of Cups. Usually the 8 of Cups is really about there's something being missing, and it's that thing that is going to emotionally fulfill them. And so with it in reverse, it's like they recognize that there's something missing, but they're not willing to leave behind what it is they need to leave behind in order to embark on that journey. And now I'm seeing the mountains within themselves, and to really go inward and discover what it is that they're being called to do, what their purpose is, right? So with this group, I'm seeing that they're not really valuing as well their individual gifts, right? Maybe they're artists, maybe it's some other type of creative, and everything can be classified as creative, right? Like the act of creating. Here we have divine feminine, right? And so this also ties into this idea and the third eye of needing to go inward to really discover what it is that you're meant to be doing, what they're meant to be doing. And it's the same with this heart chakra. I mean, it's going to be communicated through their heart. So it's like they're not in this energy of self-love. I don't believe that they really value themselves, because here we have it in reverse. Let the wall fall that separates me from my own vulnerable inner child. I long to take care of myself like never before. So this journey of like really going inward and putting a real value on yourself, caring for yourself, taking time for yourself, I'm getting, when I see this word separate, it's like they have to separate themselves. Especially with individuality in reverse, it's like you have to be willing to separate yourself, right? And I feel with them, because this is very much tied to their luck, to their fortune, to their abundance. And it's like right now their karma is that it's being delayed. It's like there's a block on this in some way because they're not answering this call to, it feels like the first step for them is to open up their heart. And just, I feel this feeling of like being more in their heart, being more in their heart, accepting differences. Because it's like if they can accept differences in other people and the individuality and the individual expression of others, then that means that they can accept it for themselves. Individuality. Let's see what this says. Every person has their own personalized study plan in this earth school. Yeah. So this is something that, our hearts know that we're all here to do something different. And if we're here to do something different and have a different purpose, our curriculum is going to be different. Our path is going to be different, and it's like if they can't admire and love and appreciate and value the purpose and the path and the artistry and the creativeness of others, then how are they going to value that in themselves? And so this is another piece of karma. Like now I'm seeing this guy drinking, right? And I just get this feeling of someone who is drinking away their sorrows, and just being very unhappy, this moon, it's like on the inside, it's this very solemn sort of face, right? So it's like drinking away their sorrows, and it's like a strong unhappiness, with this Ace of Cups in reverse, and with Judgment in reverse. It's like feeling of like there's something missing and I can't quite put my finger on it. It's this chronic dissatisfaction, this chronic unease. I just heard dis-ease, so maybe some of them are sick. Like I just had this feeling of like, I heard this the other day too, and it just popped into my consciousness. Is, we get sick in our energy bodies before, we get sick in our physical bodies. And so I just feeling this feeling of like an energetic and a spiritual sickness, right? Because, it's like we're longing to uncover, it's like our hearts and our, like there's this longing to uncover, not just our purpose, but the fortune that comes with it, the happiness, the blessings that come with doing what it is that we're meant to be doing. It's almost like I just felt this perfect fit. It's like I'm seeing it as like Cinderella and like the glass slipper, and it's like, oh, this is a perfect fit, but it's something that's so cozy and snug. It's tailor-made just for you. And so, this is what I'm seeing as their karma is, this dissatisfaction, a strong spiritual dis-ease. So, I mean, I'm not saying they have to be drinkers, right? But they may indulge in some type of activity to numb them, and it's like completely in the absence of self-care. And I almost feel like it's self-destructive for some of them. And not only is it self-destructive, it's almost like, I feel also for some of them, because it's interconnected, right? So I'm feeling this feeling of like Yeah, and then here's another cup in reverse. So it's like, yeah, I'm getting this drinking energy and this like chronic dissatisfaction. But oh, I lost my train of thought now. Oh, not putting a value on their gifts. Not being wanting to stand out. Maybe part of this dissatisfaction is this envy as well, right? Like it ties into this envy because it's easy to look at someone else and say, when you're in this dissatisfied state, when you're not placing a value on your gifts and talents, but you can only seem to see that of others, right? And instead of like embracing it, you're judging them. I lost my train of thought again. I keep losing my train of thought. I feel like with these individuals, maybe that's another thing. It's like they have these starts and then these like relapses. It's like these false starts, like how I keep losing my train of thought. It's like they take a couple steps on this path and then they go backwards. And now I'm seeing the insides of these flowers as like you know, like those petri dishes with like diseases that it's under the microscope, and I'm seeing that tied back to this card of this illness. There's some type of illness and some type of sickness, you know, of a spiritual level, because I'm getting it in this mystery, in this darkness, right, of like the ethers or something like that, right? And now I'm putting this in reverse. Yeah. So divine feminine, birthing fertility, their ability to create is very much hindered because it isn't what is meant for them. It's like they're being pushed into a corner, some of them. And what's coming back, please, I'm about to lose it again. Oh my God. And it came back again and I lost it. It's on the tip. I feel like it's on the tip of their fingers. They're almost there at uncovering, but it's like a rock bottom sort of feeling that I'm getting with them before that they're willing to surrender, to open up their hearts, and to clear it out. And so then that way they can, you know, start to receive, like we have the eye, like this portal, you know, we have the third eye right here. And then we have this evil eye. So there's like this connection. So it's like this envy into this dissatisfaction, this like almost destructiveness, this dis-ease, and then eventually probably being brought to a place of surrender, to open up their hearts so that they can discover what it is that is been calling them all this time, and then hopefully there will be some positive change for them. But this is going to be a difficult struggle, really, because when now I'm thinking of the divine feminine and all the inner work and all the healing that needs to take place. And maybe for this group, I'm getting like whatever their purpose is, it really involves their heart. It really involves their heart. And so their heart needs to be open in order for them to unlock this. And sometimes it's like, the people, like, you, especially when you're numbing your heart, maybe they have really powerful, strong hearts. Maybe they're meant to, who knows, right? But sometimes I feel like with, like, I'm thinking of polarities. I'm seeing the Kabbalah tree of life. And here we have like the two extremes, and then we have the middle. You have mercy and then you have severity. And I'm just thinking of like things being completely like opposite, but just being on a different ends of the spectrum. So it's like you'll see people sometimes going from having the most closed off heart, and they need to experience that and the pain of that in order to like swing into this, to be able to like learn the lessons, and then bring themselves to this other place of like opening up their heart, cleaning their heart. It's like, do you guys get what I'm saying? It's like part of that continuum. And so sometimes it's like, when we talk about doing a 180, it's almost like that swinging of that pendulum and things being on a continuum. So that's their karma, is that, everything is connected. And then again, like, judge not lest ye be judged. If you are feeling in judgment or receiving judgment and envy and all of these things for how you are as an individual, just know that this is a lesson that these individuals are required to learn, and they are going to learn it in a very difficult and hard way. And you know, it is what it is. But they also have some type of gifts, and you know, here now I'm seeing the antlers. Feed your artist. Like, yeah, their crown chakra is blocked, and in order to create and you know, find your fortune, it's like these are things that, especially as an artist, a creator, is like, I feel, you know, the things that have the biggest blessings are the things that, and I'm talking about blessings, like on top of blessings from the Most High Creator, you know. And I'm talking about, like, what is that verse from the Bible? Like, oh, when the Lord blesses, like, you know, there shall be no sorrow attached to it. I'm talking about that type of blessing. You know, you need to be connected, because it's like you're doing God's work, you know. And who knows, maybe they're one of us on a different stage in their journey. So they're going to continue to be called, and if they do not answer the call, it's like, I'm just seeing like a pathway. It's like, all right, you know, choose. It's like, I'm seeing it as like the Matrix. It's like, which pill you want to choose, right? But the pills is like, are you ready to awaken, or do you want to continue on? And but you know, continuing on has its consequences as well, right? So that's their karma, group 1. That's their karma. So hopefully you guys like this video. Please do give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. All right, group 2, welcome to your reading. What's the karma for your haters, right? So, I don't know, this is kind of making me laugh. Like, this energy is kind of hilarious, or even just like the way that the messages are coming through is funny, you know. It's kind of funny to me. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny at the same time. So anyways, so one of the first things I'm going to say is that as I was laying out the cards, I was getting, with this strength card right here, I'm getting like this person really needs a hug, right? I could see them being this lion right here. And you know how cats like to be pet? So like, I just feel it's this type of thing where they just need to be pet and consoled a little bit. It's something a little bit condescending in a way. But that's what they need. They need that hug. They need to be pet. And I feel like that hug and that petting is coming from the higher ups. And when I say higher ups, I'm talking about, you know, God, the angels, you know, any type of, you know, higher being, right? Is like, okay, they're there, like, because I'm getting this really animalish, I hate to say it like that. This is how it's coming through, okay? So it's just this strong, it's almost ignorant. You know how animals are, I'm not saying animals are ignorant. Obviously, they're very instinctual. But I mean, they don't have the, because, okay, here we have blue avians, right? Philosophy, releasing karma, mysticism. And I'm seeing them as like these very highly evolved beings. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't see this person as, you know, this is their karma, as being highly evolved. You know, another thing I heard was their head is in the clouds. And I was getting that with this giraffe. The bigger picture, take a step back and gather your thoughts and feelings. So, you know, I'm getting this feeling of their head being in the clouds. Not in a good way. Not in a good way. in a way that, like, they're not getting it. Like, they're not understanding what's going on spiritually. Like, their head is in the clouds. Okay, because here we have, with the giraffe, it's air and earth, right? So the element of earth is being very grounded, very rooted. We have earth over here as well, right? The element of air is like being connected to these higher realms. You know, here we have, if you believe, and we have the Hierophant, you know, very spiritual, very wise, very connected to the higher realms, right? But with this, like, I'm just getting it as like, yeah, like, but their head is in the clouds. And I'm also getting that with, you know, spirit being like, okay, they're there. And then with this, look at this Seven of Pentacles. Like, they think, look at this, they think they're doing something here, right? Like, they think they're doing something. They think they're getting away with something. But look, like, they're stepping into a trap, right? And it's so like I'm saying, like, it's something hilarious about this. And then Spirit's like, okay, they're there. Like, they're kind of foolish, okay? Like, this is like some type of foolish type of energy. Very ignorant, very, they think they run the show type of thing, you know? Because another thing I heard when I was laying out the cards was, faith without works is dead. But I heard it in the opposite way of, like, work without faith is dead too. Because here we have, if you believe, the Hierophant. And I don't get this feeling that, like, they're big believers. Like, they don't have, like, the philosoph. Because here again, we have the birds. Blue avians, these are birds. They're very, very advanced, highly evolved. You know, and here with the Lapis Lazuli, like, I'm tying this to ancient Egypt. You know, very, and this feather, very wise, just knows, like, more like the secrets of how things work, you know? They're not just like animals on the earth, you know? And who knows what animals know, but I'm talking about our perception of the animals, right? Maybe they know that there is this higher power that's running the show. I feel like with these people, with the devil in reverse is like, you know, look at them chained. I think the devil got them chained. And I'm just getting like a sense of controlling, you know. This is the type of person who thinks that, like, they like to play God. I feel like they like to play God. They think that everything is based on their efforts. They're very, this is a not a new age type of philosophy, right? This is a very old school, like, I'm thinking of like the boomer generation. Oh, you gotta do it, it's hard work, you gotta put in the hours, you gotta blah blah blah. Like, you know, I don't know if you guys have worked with some of the boomers or heard them speak. Like, it's reminding me of a conversation I had with a woman at work a while ago, and she was talking about one of the you know, employees, like, being on her phone and listening to stuff as she was working. And in my head, I'm like, that's not a big deal. She's just like, maybe that music's keeping her hyped, you know? But she's like, if she's already doing that, she's like, in my time, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, and it's just this type of ignorant shit. Like, I feel, like they just need a hug. Like, this is their karma, though, is that there's something very far gone about this type of mentality. It just really lacks faith and belief. Again, the head is in the clouds. I think they have a lot of ideas, philosophies, and things like that, where it's like they think that they're being smart, but like they're really not. They're being outsmarted. It's a trap, you know, by the devil. It's like an illusion, and they're just going with it. And with this earth, the frequency of earth activates our deep connection to the physical plane by showing us that the beauty of all the aspects of our great mother and revealing the more ethereal spiritual aspects of our nature. Okay, so again, like, it's like I get this feeling of like they're on the earth, like this giraffe, but their head is in the clouds. Like, they're not getting it. They're not getting it. And you know, our wealth with this Ten of Pentacles here is very much tied to, and I'm talking about, you know, great wealth, abundance, like legacy, you know, generational wealth, like really building an empire, you know, that comes from having faith, that comes from belief, that comes from wisdom, that comes from manifestation, that comes from tying yourself and aligning yourself with your purpose, um, and really believing in, and having the knowledge, knowing the, you know, it's like, and now I'm seeing this as a pyramid. It's like, you know, and I'm seeing as like moving mountains, and just thinking of like the pyramids and like the things that were able to be accomplished, you know? And I feel like a lot of these things are inspired by the higher realms, and there's such a limitation. I feel like this like low, like this is the bar with these people, right? And they think that, like, literally they think that they're God in some type of way. Like, I hope that makes sense when I say that they think they're God. Like, they think that that is their position on this earth. Like, we are the gods over the animals or something like that. Like, we run the show. And it's like majorly. And in order for them to really experience this Ten of Pentacles, this abundant wealth, this empire, this feeling of like having it all in the material, they're going to have to let go of this control over their environment. This like arrogance is, I'm sorry, it's arrogant, you know. That's why Spirit's like, they're there, okay, just let me give you a hug and like, you know, pet you a little bit, you big, I'm sorry, I want to say dumb animal. No disrespect to animals, but like, it's time for you to do some introspection and go on a mountain and meditate. Like, because I'm feeling like, I don't know, I'm just feeling that. So that's their karma. I mean, it's like they're gonna have to let go of many beliefs, ideas, like with this halite and this Seven of Swords in reverse. And I really like this Seven of Swords. This is a really good one. It really is. And there's something very clownish about this character over here. It's just hilarious. Like, I love the smirk on his face. He has such a smirk on his face. Such a wise guy type of vibe. Just a very know-it-all type of thing. Like, literally head in the clouds, right? So this is their karma. Is like, they gotta change this. They gotta snap out of this, you know? And I'm almost getting, it's like this has to be done through love in some sort of way, but this also has to be done through spending time and really actually getting more rooted in I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it alone. But, you know, like, there's so many thoughts and beliefs that are so toxic in them. This is just toxic to me, because I could see this playing out. Because here we have the devil. Like, this is very devilish. You know, very part of the illusion. Like, this is very like, and now that's what I'm getting with this earth. You know how like the 3D is like full of illusions, and I feel like they have mastered the 3D, and it's very much like the art of war, like the 48 laws of power, and then they want to use that, and it's like, yeah, you can trick other people, but you cannot trick God, right? You cannot trick, you just can't. You can't do it, you know? To think, and they literally think that they can. Oh, this is reminding me of that same boomer lady that I was telling you guys about. I mean, so shade, and it's like, you know, especially people with discernment are able to see right through it, right? But they cause a lot of havoc and a lot of damage, and in order for them to truly gain, and I'm talking about, because this is with the Ten of Pentacles, this is long-lasting wealth, you know, but it's not just wealth, it's everything that, you know, it's like in the material realm, right? Like an abundance in the material, in the physical, on the earth, in the 3D. Then they're going to have to surrender. They're going to have to let God be God and realize that they're not God, they're not the Messiah, they're not, you know, in control, you know, and stop playing God, and start, like, you know, works without faith is also dead, right? and stop acting like animals, pretty much. Like, even though, at least with animals, they act on instincts, I'm pretty sure that these people do not act on instincts. They're acting off of like strategy, off of deception, off of things like that. And so, like, they will never achieve this truly prosperous life because they lack understanding, spiritual understanding. And you know, and it's that saying of, like, you know, the blessings of this 10 of Pentacles, this long lasting, it's like no one can take it away. You know, like, people can be you know, get money or whatever, right? And do so in a means that is you know, not so, I was gonna say savory, but you know, kind of shady ways. But there's always going to be something attached to it that is going to take away from the enjoyment of it. And so the type of blessings, like, what's that saying again? Like, you know, blessings from the Lord, like, and, you know, no sorrow shall be attached to it. You know, those are the blessings that they will not be able to get. You know, it's like, say someone who is, this is just an example, like, say like a drug dealer, right? They make a lot of money, they have money, but they're always having to look over their shoulder. They're always in that state of, you know, suspicion and anxiety and things like that. And it's like, is it even worth it, right? Or would it be worth it to, you know, and it's that sort of deception, that sort of like maneuvering, as opposed to like knowing that you can manifest it a different way, and in a way that is in alignment, and in a way that is long lasting and just beautiful, right? So that's their karma. Their karma is just looking like fools, like, literally, like, they're looking like fools, and they are blocked from really having, they're always gonna have to like do these do these shady sort of things, and like there's karma attached to it. There's, you know, there's having to look over your shoulder, being in a state of discomfort, of dis-ease, having doubt and fear, and just being stuck in this illusion, and you know, there's a lot of negative emotions attached to it, sleepless nights. Like, I'm just getting like that type of vibe with this. So yeah, so that's their karma, right? And so, like, I don't know, maybe with you guys, I'm not sure. Anyways, I won't get into that part. That is their karma, guys. If you like this video, please give me a like, subscribe to see more videos like this. I will see you guys soon. I love you guys. Bye. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your reading. Those of you who picked the Lemurian Aquatine Calcite, this is your reading. So we have the 10 of Cups in reverse. So what is the karma for your haters? All right. So this is the story that I'm picking up with your haters, and I feel like they're this Empress over here, right, at a cross. So this really has to do with their level of unhappiness, right? And I think, you know, with this 10 of Cups, what really stands out to me is people you can trust, you know. So with this in reverse, it's like, I think they're very unhappy. Like, obviously, I mean, 10 of Cups in reverse is very emotionally unfulfilled, and I think this has to do with people, and it also has to do with material, right? Because here we have the 9 of Pentacles as well, which is either it has to do with materials, or it could be, okay, I got something else. Okay, so it's emotionally unfulfilled, right? But financially independent and secure, right? So this is what I'm getting with them. They may have money, they may have security, they may on the outside appear to be living in a sort of abundant sort of way, but in reality that is not the case with this Ace of Pentacles in reverse, because this was not given to them by the hand of God, so to speak, right? This was, I feel like, a very manipulative sort of approach to this, because here we have Warrior in reverse and all paths lead home in reverse. So let me just Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. And then here with warrior in reverse, we have trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. So what I'm seeing here, and this is why the Empress came at a cross, and I was very keen on keeping it that way. And below we have Sacred Mountain in reverse, right? So I feel like with this this group is like they're sowing seeds of unhappiness, of unfulfillment with other people, you know, and they're trading it for material wealth and abundance. And I think that they like to come across as being very confident and very having their shit together sort of vibe I'm getting with this confidence is key to success. However, what I'm getting is that they're sowing seeds of, okay, because Sacred Mountain, this really has to do with turning inward, taking time out for yourself to see what it is that that you are to sort of create, and not even just create, but just check in with yourself. You know, are you okay with the direction you're going? It's very much hermit energy. Check, just daily check-ins. You know, maybe they what they create again is not really like very it's fruitful on, I feel like, a very surface level fruitfulness, because on the inside they are not happy, and that's their karma, right? Because this intuition is like, I feel like they're not connected to it for the purpose of, you know, because, okay, I feel like I'm all over the place with this reading, like mentally. I feel like this is their energy, is that they're confused. They're so confused because they don't check in with themselves. And they're willing to do anything at any cost to get what it is that they want. It's like a warrior who like doesn't play by the rules. You know, like there's no code of honor. I'm thinking of like samurais. Like, you know, like I'm getting this feeling of like people who, yes, it's like, you know, they have a code of ethics to what they do, even though like they don't just play 100% dirty, and it's like, you know, all holds barred or something? I don't know that saying, but they don't care. They have no consideration for others. They just care about what they want. And in this message I'm getting is all paths lead home. I'm getting that in the sense of they need to recognize that there's many ways to achieve a certain goal and to achieve a certain mission. They don't have to play dirty in order to do that. They don't have to hurt other people. They don't have to take prisoners. They don't have to have casualties of war. It's like someone who just blows up a place, like, you know, with women and children sort of feeling is what I'm getting. Now the Empress is in reverse. I don't know why I put it down like that. But they're very extreme in this, and that's why I think we're seeing moderation over here, is because like they're not balancing the emotional with the physical, in the sense of like their fulfillment with, you know, like how they feel on the inside, because they don't check in with themselves, and how they affect their environment and the people around them. You know, they're just more concerned about reaping the most. It's almost like a corporation, you know, like I just heard corporation, like it's like this psychopath that just wants more and more and more and more. Like that's the vibe I'm getting, especially with this moderation card. And so it's like with spring here, right? Because with the Sacred Mountain, I'm getting this winter vibe, right? So the Sacred Mountain is about the winter. It's like going in where it's cold, it's quiet, it's, you know, and deciding what it is that we want to create, what we want to harvest, and then, you know, planting it, and then from there, and then also realizing that there are many ways to get somewhere. It's like a GPS. You make the wrong turn, you can go a different way. You know, your intuition will guide you and lead you on the best way to achieve something. You don't have to be like a brute, and very inconsiderate of your surroundings, and sort of strategize in this sort of sociopath, I don't know, sociopath, psychopath sort of way of just wanting more, 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 more at any cost. Like, because right now I'm being brought the example of like, you know, like sweatshops and things like that. It's like there's ways to make money. Like Corpse can make money without using like child labor. I mean, like there's limits to what we want to do, because it's going to bring this emotional unfulfillment if you don't bring this balance and this moderation of what you want and what the people and the society and the community around you also are willing to, like, what affects them, right, as well, right? So I'm getting with this is because they don't check in with themselves, because they don't find this balance, there's a lot of conflict in what they reap, right? Because in this, it's like what they're sowing in the winter, because they're not even sowing in the winter, they're not even checking in, they're just planting, they're just skipping this whole step, and they're just saying, well, what's going to get me the most, let's plant it in this, and then in spring it starts to bloom, and then they find themselves unfulfilled emotionally, people not liking them, you know. I mean, it's like I'm getting this feeling of like rejection as well, but outwardly really appearing to have a lot, and so, and then appearing to be confident, but here it's like God is saying no, they're not, they're miserable, you know. I just heard miserable fucks, like that's what they are, they're miserable fucks in their life, their relationships are poor, they're bad, and it's because they're very indifferent to how they impact other people. I don't see them as community based. I see them as very like it's very like, I see a sword right now, and when I see the sword I'm thinking of like the mental aspect and how some people like to compartmentalize things. And I see them as doing that, like it's like, you know, I just heard like no man is an island unto himself, and things affect others. And so that's why it's important, with when you manifest, like you want to make sure that you're manifesting in a way that's like in alignment with your inner self and your intuition, because it will not guide you, you know, away from what your true desire really is, which, I mean, many of us want the enjoyment and to reap a harvest for what we plant and what we for what we sow, but and we want to feel confident as well, because I feel like there's an element of like, I don't know if it's a lack of confidence, because there's an uneasy feeling I get with this, and you know, I was jumbling up my words and I feel like I'm all over the place. There's an uneasy feeling that I get with how these people sow, like they're confused, in the sense of like, it's almost like I'm seeing like it's like a karmic cycle of like, oh, but I'm just trying to get what I want. Why is everyone mad at me? You know, like that sort of feeling. But that's like because what they didn't take the time to think about it or to consider it. Or even if they did, like they're like, well, this is the only way. Well, it's like, no, it's not. It's not the only way. There's a million freaking ways, right? And so their karma is this like lack of like, I'm seeing like all gas, no brakes, you know, with this moderation. It's like they just want to put the gas on this, you know. This is reminding me of someone too. And then they wonder why they're unfulfilled. It's like, and then they know, but then it's like this is a karmic cycle. I'm really getting this is very karmic. This is very karmic. And hopefully they learn the lesson, because they're gonna continue to plant seeds of repeating this lesson. Like that's what they're sowing. You know, that is what they're sowing, and that's what they're going to reap, right? Until they start to spend more time in this sacred mountain and this, you know, because even when they do spend time alone, they really have to reflect on the how unhappy they are, um, how, people don't necessarily like them, how they feel about themselves for some of the stuff they do. It's like maybe there's an avoidance of wanting to feel those feelings because they want to maintain this feel good energy of like being confident, but it's a facade, right? Like it's a facade. So like that is their karma, is like being in this cycle of reaping well, but but at the expense of their emotional fulfillment, their happiness, their relationship with others, and even their relationship with themselves. Um, I get this feeling of like just being so disconnected with this Lemurian. When I think of Lemuria, I think of joy, I think of ease, I think of, you know, being confident, like real confidence, in knowing your place, your purpose, and your path to success, to longevity, to abundance, the full spectrum and expression of it, which includes emotional fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, being enriched, monetarily and things like that. And and I think that that is what they desire, but because they are missing this element of intuition and spending time alone and really taking time to check in with themselves and with others, and they're just like that greedy corporation that just goes and always wants to put on this mask. um it's like a no, like it's a no. They're gonna keep being stuck in that cycle. And while it's like I'm also feeling like that energy of like, it's reminding me of like Jim Carrey, the speech that he had where he's like, oh, I wish that people would make all the money that they think that they want, so then they can realize that that is not the source of, your happiness or your fulfillment, and that sort of thing. And I think, we see sometimes like a lot of, celebrities who later on speak of, yeah, I was at the height of my career and but I was so dead on the inside. And, I'm not saying that this is the extent of this person's karma, but it's along those lines, right? Like, when you're inflicting pain on others, it affects you. I'm sorry, it just does. It affects, like, we're connected here, right? And some people are more able to try to disconnect, from that, but it's there, and it's going to continue until, there's a change, and I think now I'm picking up heavy envy. Maybe these people hate you, like there's something about you that they envy. I'm getting, like, big time. Maybe it's your intuition, maybe it's your relationships with others, maybe it's your joy, um, maybe it's your faith. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, these are just different things that I'm picking up on. Maybe it's your love, your connection, um, you know, your empathy, the things that they feel like they're lacking. But I mean, it is what it is like they gotta just self-reflect, right? And be willing to, and I feel like go through the fire, right? Sometimes we put up a wall, right? When we're being called out by people, when people aren't happy with us based on our actions, it's like a defensiveness, and it's like, well, I'm successful, I'm this and I'm that. It's reminding me of, like, I remember, like, this guy I knew back in the day, he would say, he's like, well, I don't give a fuck, no, they don't pay my bills and blah blah blah. And in my mind I'm like, okay, but like they're just saying though, like they don't, so people got to pay your bills to let you know, like, that what you're doing is affecting them and it's hurting them. Like, You know, it's just a very like brushing off sort of way, you know, but it's like, don't lie, like it does affect you. And if there is something you can do about it, there's so many paths that could lead you to success. Like, why not do so in a way that is, you know, the community can support, and you know, you're gonna have cheerleaders instead of enemies. Like, why make enemies, right? So got a lot of enemies. So yeah, so that's your reading, group 3. I hope you liked it. Give me a like, please, if you liked it. If it resonated with you, please leave a comment if it did as well. I'd love to hear from you guys. Please subscribe to see more videos, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. Group 4, welcome to your reading. Those of you who selected the snow quartz, this is your reading with the card regeneration. So what's the karma for your haters, right? That is the question. Here, okay, so it's just, this is a bit strange to me, because while I was laying out the cards, I was also getting group 2 and group 3. So if you were called to those, like, please check those out, you know, because this is probably the only reading where the other one does speak on, the other ones do speak on the karma for your haters, whereas this one, I feel like it's more of a message to you as the viewer. And what the message has to do with is, because there's a confusion that's happening here with communication, with, I'm assuming, this person that you perceive as hating, right? So we have that with this Knight of Swords. You know, communication isn't just coming in really quick, and I feel like that's the way that it's hitting you. It's coming in quick, like how we see this horse, this man on this horse, and then here we have air, and you can see how the air and these leaves and like the way that it's moving around. I'm seeing it as almost like, you know, when you have headphones with the cords, and then they would get all jumbled and, you know, tied in knots and stuff like that, and then you have to unravel it. Like, I'm getting that with communication. Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, weird, you know, misinterpretations, miscommunications, and things like that that are happening that are causing a lot of, here we have the Four of Swords, and we have Strength in reverse. So it's like causing distress. It's causing a sense of restlessness. It's causing a sense of isolation. Maybe you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness, face your truth. And what I'm getting with this as well is like, you know, we're all very different, right? And it's not so much I'm getting that you're weird or anything like that, but we're all different, even in the way we communicate, in the way we express ourselves, in the word choices we use, if we're more blunt or straightforward. And that can be interpreted in so many different ways and received by others in many different ways. So there's always going to be people who you're going to feel like, regardless, just don't really vibe with you, and vice versa, right? And so I'm getting a heaviness of that in this reading. And I think that right now, this is happening in the environment of, you know, here we have regeneration, we have life experience, which is, this is the Tower card. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change, time to spread your wings. What I'm getting with this is there's been a major change of some sort, and this opportunity to regenerate. And what I'm seeing this as is like it's kind of like a tower, so, or something like it's, or now I'm thinking of like a hurricane or some natural disaster or natural thing, like a divine intervention that comes in and sweeps things away and gets rid of everything so things can regrow again with the intentions that you set from it, you know, and then allowing you to come in now and to create something in a more balanced way. And maybe this has to do with your way of thinking, right? You know, and the reason why I'm saying that is because here we have the Page of Swords, you know, walking a tightrope, you know, open to new ideas, studying, you know, trying to, and again, balancing, you know, and it's, when I was pulling out this card, I heard, what's that Eminem song? You know, we'll walk this road together. Was it cold or warm? Whatever weather, whatever, through the storm. I don't know if I'm making that part up. But this is where I'm getting this storm and this weather elements and something coming in and sweeping things away, having an opportunity to regenerate and recreate something that is more balanced, more in alignment. Maybe you want to get rid of some of these people who speak like this or communicate like this because it's affecting you. Your energy or your energetic field, or it's weakening you, it's making you restless. And these people, it's like the same way that you may not be for them, they're just not for you. And I'm getting patience with this because it is like you're walking this tightrope and you are at the beginning of something new, this new creation, this new way, this new finding your balance again, and trying to do so on a tightrope. And then maybe deciding that, and what I'm getting with this patient card is maybe being tolerant. Not so much of these people. Like maybe for some of you guys, it's a need to let them go. And then for others, it's allowing patience for you to walk through this passage. Like I'm getting this feeling of this middle passage now. I just heard middle passage. And now I'm thinking of the kingdom of Dahomey, you know, because Maulisa, I know is associated with Dahomey. And I just saw the movie Woman King. And so it's like a very difficult passage. I'm thinking of the slave trade. Oh my God. This is the example that's coming in, and the middle passage. And this is an extreme example, but it's this very difficult pathway to walk, you know, and this balancing that needs to take place, and this need to just be patient a little bit for what appears to be like attacks or misinterpretations, miscommunications, and there's obviously going to be some type of purpose for this. And you know, here I'm seeing face your true north. Like, you know, this passage will lead you to where you're meant to be. You just have to stay the course, regardless of how difficult it is, and know that people are not going to like you when you're being yourself, you know. And I just thought for a second, like, I'd rather, you know, someone not like me for being me than like me for being like a fake me, you know, like it's, you know, like that sort of thing. So now you get to regenerate and recreate, and it's not easy, right? It's not easy. And maybe there's a lot of people in your life that you thought would be there with you through this new regeneration of your life and whatever, right? That, but that they're not feeling you, like they're not liking this person that you're becoming, you know. They're, or maybe they're confused, maybe the communication is just up in the air, right? Maybe this ties into, because here, let's see, the High Priestess. Listen to your Archangel Haniel. I don't know, that's standing out to me right now. I don't know much about that Archangel, but again, here, listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. So this is the having patience, and feelings of being uncomfortable, feeling weak, feeling out of balance, feeling like, you know, people's words, people's energy is coming at you in a way that is not helpful, you know. But just continue to have patience. Number 2 and number 2, you know. It's a very diplomatic life path, right? These are diplomats, people who get along with others, you know? You could still get along with someone even though they're not for you, right? So this is the message for this group. So if you did select it, this is your message. But then also check out groups 2 and 3, because I think that this group is sort of like a message for you in a way, right? As well. But, you know, they still got some karma. So check out groups 2 and 3 as well. So, you know, it seems like, you know, because again, the middle passage, it seems like there's a lot going on for you. But yeah, life path 2, I'm getting a very strong life path 2. So you may be a life path 2, or you may need to embody those, or even an 11, two, because it's 2 2s, you know, which is an 11 to me, because an 11 is like a 2 doubled. So I'm getting a life path 11, which is also very spiritual. And I feel like this passage, this middle passage thing that I keep feeling, this tightrope is going to be illuminating to you. It's going to be very enlightening to you, you know, here with the birds and the light bulbs and the books, the studying. And it's also going to bring you like serenity and peace and strength as well, because the reason why I'm saying that, I'm talking about inner strength and inner peace, you know, because, and then not just that, it's like sometimes when you feel weak, you're actually getting stronger. Sometimes when you're, you know, like I get that from working out, the same way you see her flexing her muscle right here is like, you know, when you're lifting weights, like you feel like, damn, I'm weak, right? But the next day you're sore, but you're actually getting stronger. So sometimes when we are experiencing something and it's like the same with learning, right? You feel like you're learning. Sometimes when you're learning something new, you feel like, oh, like I'm so dumb. Like, I don't know if you guys, I sometimes feel like, oh my God, I really don't know. I have no clue about this stuff. But it's like that feeling is what opens you up to being open to learning and being teachable. And then that's what gives you the knowledge that you're seeking. So sometimes being okay with the opposite of, if that makes sense to you guys. Yeah. So I'm getting that to reassure you, to have patience through this time, because there's a lot of, you know, crosshairs in the communication, and maybe even in your intuition as well. So like if you are feeling restless, that could be why your intuition is feeling muffled. But just in due time and having patience, like the answers will come, the revelations will come. Just continue on in your journey, and keep facing your true north. So that's your reading group 4. Do check out piles 2 and 3 if you were also called to them. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to see more. I love you guys. Bye.